Now Wit is in Lawrence's head, but isn't Lawrence part of the simulation?
And again, he's talking to a hologram.
He's talking to
So
a
he's saying,
hologram about a simulation that she doesn't know about. Wit has invented holograms that can feel shame so that grace may abound. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Talking to Tomatoes, our podcast that we've since named. I'm your host, Eric Eberly.
and I'm Jubilee Alexander, and I'm feeling a little asparagus today. I think I'm one of the asparagus.
Asparagus? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. We got to pick a vegetable. Oh God. So we've already said we got to stop with the eggplants. I'm not doing this bit.
Fine.
So we got into after we recorded our last episode. We're like, wow, let's get to it, and we went looking for some episodes. Surprisingly hard to find. I fully expected to be like, here's 300 channels of someone who's uploaded every episode, diligently uploading every episode of Adventures in Odyssey.
I expected them to have hosted every episode, and to be fair, they are all online. They're just behind a paywall.
Hey, paywall, which we're not paying for. Searching for it actually kind of became also an adventure in spelling the word Odyssey, because boy, did I find some weird ODDSSY, some I's thrown in there. Yeah.
Spelling really gets you right in the Odyssey. I'm sorry. Cut this out. Editor,
Nope.
editor Eric, cut this out.
I'm the editor. I'm not cutting this out.
It's staying in.
It was surprisingly difficult. I mean, there was the problem because we were talking about trying to find the one episode where we remember the most that had to do with a knight.
Yeah.
Which the first what was it? The first episode of the cartoon.
Yeah. So the first episode of the 17 episode cartoon series is called The Night or A Night Traveler or The Night Traveler, which made it absolutely impossible to Google because it was reviews of The Night Traveler and clips from A Night Traveler, and yeah, it was just.
Yeah. And we kind of had to do some digging to find some free episodes, and what we ended up finding was what I assume is a fan site that it's in the last like 10 or 15 years they've started doing a podcast where they occasionally upload like free episodes, like they pull them out from behind the paywall and
Mhm.
have some commentary or interviews and stuff like that. But it's still like, this, like today we're doing episode whatever 117, and so we had to kind of dig around to find that one, and then this particular one had like 20, so it's like that's at least enough to get us started before we decide if they're.
Yeah, but if anyone knows a place where they can get it or wants to, I don't know. I don't want to give Focus on the Family any money, so I'd like to.
Yeah, don't do please
Anybody, yeah,
don't
don't
do
give
us
them
the
any money.
favor. Don't do us the favor and be like, oh, or offer to like buy us a subscription. We don't want to give them money.
Yeah.
Specifically. So we'll keep digging. Maybe eventually we'll get some fans who can find it. But we've got a couple dozen episodes that are out behind the paywall.
I am suddenly imagining how long does physical media last? Cassettes are notoriously bad, aren't they?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay. Because
I
I was
mean, I
literally
mean, not
like,
decades, but
okay. I mean, I was literally thinking maybe we could go start looking at like old, um, like secondhand stores. Oh,
I
there's
can do that. I don't see
My
a lot
research
of.
is my research assistant is saying there are 14 days free trials for the club, Odyssey Club. So we could
Uh,
each do, when we get to the end of that, we could each do one. That is giving them some information and uh
clicks and stuff
well,
like that, but
it's clicks, it's traffic, but that's another potential uh thing that we could do. But
yeah, just a bunch of sock puppets and for the rest of our lives, or go in and see if I don't know if they're downloadable, but yeah,
they've
have
gotta be.
pay, spend one day downloading all 1100 episodes
I
to some
know
sort of.
friend of the podcast, Behind the Bastards, will occasionally do book episodes, and what they do is they download the book buy the book on Amazon, they download it to their Kindle, disconnect the Kindle from Wi-Fi, and then ask for a refund. So
That's
maybe we can do that.
well, we'll see about that. Anyway, let's get into the episode.
Let's
So
do just
so the episode we got is called Into Temptation, which once we started, I realized because in our like searching for this first episode, I was literally going through just a list of the titles of all the episodes, and some number of seasons in, there's a series of I think it's 11 episodes that are like each one is like one line from like the Lord's Prayer, and I think this is one of them. Lead us
oh,
not and like
interesting.
into the episode is called Into Temptation. um
But that would be
and
the line before it. Wasn't the line before it "Deliver us not"? That sounds like a bleak episode.
Deliver us not. It wasn't like complete. It was little bits and like and stuff like that.
The
But
highlights, playing the
and
hits.
anyway, because this does feel like it starts sort of in the middle of a story, because they're like they I feel it kind the beginning feels a bit like like literally the first few sentences of spoken dialogue are like a recap really quick.
Yeah, a lot of them. I mean, part of this is like, are they just assuming that you generally know the cast? And we obviously don't because we're kind of just getting started. Although the character Jimmy, I think, is the Jimmy from the one I was listening to one random episode uh, that we ended up not doing because it was actually kind of good. And we're like, no, we want one that's a little messy. We want a messy episode,
Yeah,
but
we want to
we
we want
probably
to
will go back to. I want to know how that episode actually ended. But it was also like 49 minutes long. So, uh,
yeah, wow, that's interesting. I
yeah,
wonder if it was a
this.
combined two-parter or something.
It seemed a lot higher quality because I think they were saying that this one was from 1999 or
Oh, okay, maybe,
anyway.
maybe. Um, yeah. So this episode starts out with Jimmy, and he is upset because his mom won't let him buy himself a video game for his birthday. Um, which
And that's going to take us to our first ad break for the Mach 10 Bible Adventure game.
yes, it's the Mach
We're
10.
probably on like the Mach 15 at this point because,
Uh,
it's been a little while.
surely I think this is in the episode 100, which means this is
Really early.
this is an early episode. But anyway, we're gonna do just the quickest preview. Anyway, he's upset and he's talking with James Avery Whitaker, one of the main characters. He's the we talked about it a little bit last time. He's like the
John. The Odyssey
John
head doesn't
John.
get mad. John Avery
Sorry,
Whitaker.
sorry, sorry, Odyssey heads. His name's John Avery Whitaker. He's an inventor, kind of like grandfatherly figure.
The boomer.
Yeah,
God, he probably wasn't even a boomer. Like
yeah.
he's
God, he was probably not there yet.
silent generation.
Probably. I mean, if he was in his 60s in 1988, what that means
Anyway,
he's
he
born in
invents lots of
1920.
things to lure children to his business.
Yes, it's very weird. I remember that he has some sort of like old Victorian house that's like some kind of like
It's like a malt shop and a library and
yeah, it's got all these functions. Anyway, he's an inventor. Figured it out. Yeah, it's the Imagination Station, which is like a time
holodeck.
a time machine holodeck thing. But we're breezing right past that because he has a new invention today called the
Oh wow, what
room.
is it?
It's called the Room of Consequence,
And
which
now we're into 50 Shades Darker with John Avery Whitaker.
Jesus, it's
This is my room of consequence.
which is functionally I don't quite understand the difference between that and the Imagination Station, because it's like, hey, we're gonna put you in this situation.
Oh yeah, how is it different?
We got it. We need to. God, this is honestly it's kind of a bad episode to start on. Like
There's a
we're
Wikipedia.
we're inverting the form of the show before we've even established what it is. Anyway, Wit is gonna put Jimmy in the room of consequence. That's a wild sentence to say.
The old man is
Um,
putting the young boy in the room of consequence. Got it,
to
got it, got it.
and what it's gonna do is it's gonna show him what would happen if he did buy this if he disobeyed his parents and bought this video game. And so he goes in and immediately we're like pulled out of his like the simulation of it all because Wit is like in his head, like like talking to him and like judging what he's doing. And he goes in and he buys the
Yeah.
video game, and then he's like, "Oh, what do I do
But
with
like
this?"
talking to him too. It's not just commentary. He's not just like, "Oh, you better watch out." Like he's like, "Jimmy, Jimmy, come in." Like he's directly in his ear, which is we'll get into why that makes it even stranger.
Yeah. So Jimmy buys the video game. He leaves. He's like, "Well, I can't take this home." And I'm so confused because it's like a $39 video game, which I guess would have been. I mean, that would have been a lot in
Yeah.
1989, 1991,
That's triple
like
A, baby.
areas. But it's also a portable game system, so it's like it's so weird. That's sort of a plot issue. But he's like, can't take it home. I'm gonna go into the woods and play it. And as he's playing it, he gets ambushed by a younger boy, his friend, I think, named Lawrence, who is like, "What you got there, buddy?" And he's like, "You can't tell anybody. Like but I'm gonna keep it here." And he puts it under a box and leaves it to go to his job. And, and then Lawrence is like, "Oh, is he gone?" And gets out and starts playing with it, and then breaks it. And again, confusing the issue of the simulation because now Wit is in Lawrence's head, but isn't Lawrence part of the simulation? Like if the whole point of the Room of Consequences is we're showing Jimmy what happens, Jimmy is gone, is not here for any of this.
Yeah,
And
this continues to be a weird issue in the episode where yeah, it's like there's not a bunch of people in it. It is a it's supposed to be a simulation. And maybe that's the difference between it and the Imagination Station, that this is a simulation whereas the Imagination Station is real. Like I don't know what it's supposed to be, but the it's so strange because it's like the when while there is a continuity of the lesson where where Wit is continually trying to tell people to do the right thing, he's jumping between people's heads, and most of the people are simulations because Jimmy's the only real person in there.
yeah. So Lawrence is playing with the video game even though Jimmy told him not to, and then he breaks the video game. And while he's there, what's the girl's name? Sally? Donna?
Sure, who
Donna the
cares?
Narc, because I wrote
Donna.
down Donna the Narc.
Donna the
Shows
Narc.
up and is like, "Hey, hey, Lawrence, you gotta go do something." And hey, what's that? And then Jimmy, of course, with Wit's voice in his head telling him not to do it, lies and says he found it. And Donna's like, "Oh, give it to me. I'm gonna solve this." Donna is Jimmy's sister. So
Yes.
and then is like,
Because
"Oh,
there's a weird part where the main reason from the beginning that his mom didn't want him to buy the game was that she wanted to buy it for his birthday, which is happening that night. So it it seemed like a pretty low stakes thing, but they're also like there's weird lines about them not having any money, and I'm like, what the
But Jimmy can afford to buy the game himself, and his parents are making a big deal about how expensive it's going to be. Like not to Jimmy, but like to themselves, and being like, "Ooh, how are we gonna? We're gonna have to work extra hard to afford this." Your
and
child has a job and wants to spend his money on it. Why not like? I,
there was also a thing at the beginning where I think after Jimmy leaves in the first scene, the mom sends the sister to go look for him because she just doesn't know where her kids are. She's like, "Where's Jimmy?" And she's like, "I think he went to Wits." Like, okay, why don't you go to your job? And I'm like, what is happening? What is
Yeah,
like,
all these children have jobs, and I mean, honestly, though, not knowing where your kids are, that is kind of an '80s and '90s thing to be like,
yeah.
be home by
But
dinner, I guess.
that
Don't.
is less of a critique of the thing and more just like, whoop, the 80s were a different time. You just kind of
Anyway,
left your house for hours at a time.
so Donna takes the video game and is like, "We got to find the owner. Jimmy, go to your job. I don't know what. Go to your job or whatever." Or
Yeah.
Lawrence, go to your job, and he leaves. And then she's like, "Ooh, I'm gonna take this and give it to my parents so that they don't have to spend the money."
Yeah. So they
Kind of
don't
a
pay to
thing.
spend the money.
It's like, hey, what a windfall. But then Wit in her head, "Oh, don't do it." And then oh yeah,
Well, and Wit's lying to her. He's like, you don't know who's like Wit knows whose it is. And again, he's talking to a hologram.
he's talking to
So
a
he's saying,
hologram about a simulation that she doesn't know about. that he knows the answer to.
And he's lying. He's saying he's like someone might allow, like someone might. I mean, I guess someone will be sad that it's gone, but he's like, hey, bitch, leave it alone. That's Jimmy.
So then Donna sees Jimmy coming and is like, I gotta hide this. And she shoves it in someone's mailbox. And then her ride to her job comes. Who is picking this little girl up for her job that is not like a parent or something? Wait, maybe it's her. It might have been her dad. But it's just like the audio is like so weird because there's just somebody honking, and Jimmy's
Well,
like,
yeah,
"What are you
and
doing? Go to your job."
there's lots of very old school audio drama where someone is very much like narrating what they're doing, but a lot of times there won't be, and I'll just be like, okay, bye. Like, she's been kidnapped? She stole a
She's in a car.
car? Did she
Yeah,
drive there?
she took her car. Donna's like, I'll take my car. So this video game is now in the neighbor's box. The neighbor shows up and is like, "What's this?" And then goes next door and gives the game to Jimmy's dad, and is like, you should just take this. And then the dad is like, "Cool, windfall," and then goes to try to talk to the mom to be like, "Hey, look what we got. Look what I got." And the mom is like, "Oh my God, honey, oh, you shouldn't have. Oh, but don't. We'll be able to afford it." And the dad is like in the process of trying to explain where the thing came from, and the mom is just like over top of him, and she and
Queen
eventually
shit.
like it's like, so, oh, you're such a good father, and like gives him a smooch and stuff. And
What does he say? He says like hot dog or something, which I
yeah,
found weird. I hated the dad's voice, but I found it weirdly charming. Like, because I mean, she was just like, "You're such a good father," Mwah. And he was like, "Ooh, hot dog," and I'm like, well, "Okay, calm down."
well, this audio drama is getting a little spicy for me.
Oh, well, yeah.
Anyway, so the dad basically lies to his wife, saying that he bought this game, when in fact it was a gift. And
Sins of the
then
father,
and sins of the son, honestly, because
sins of the son and the father.
so then it all culminates into a silent dinner while everyone is racked with guilt. And the one twist of the episode, which is that we don't find out what happens with the mom. And the mom is like, well, this is a shitty birthday dinner, basically,
Yeah.
because everyone is like quiet and in their own heads because they're all like feeling guilt from what they've done. And then
And
the mom,
she's like, this sucks, but doesn't seem to really care that it sucks. She's like, wow, this is a quiet birthday dinner. And
yeah,
then Jimmy's like, oh, yeah.
I guess so. And so the mom pulls out a present, in a weird confluence of audio direction and contrived plot sort of thing. The mom hands him a present. We don't hear him opening it, and then she tells him what the present is, and then spins this whole tale about how they go, this game that your father bought was broken. So I went back to the store and frickin' Karened out on the clerk
Yeah, harass
until
the employee.
he gave me a gift certificate so that you can buy the game when the new one comes in. And then this becomes the accusing parlor scene where we follow the trail of lies, where the dad feels
Backwards,
bad
so.
because it's like we basically stolen $40 from this small business because I didn't buy the game, I was given to it. And then Donna's like, well, you got that from the neighbor. Oh, I got the game from Lawrence and shoved it in there.
Diffuse!
Yeah. And then Jimmy's like, oh, well, I found this game and I broke it. And it's like, they're like, oh, you should have given it back to the person. And Jimmy's like, he's already, or says some sort of
Oh, it was
clever.
kind of good. It was kind of a good line. It's like, he's like, I bet the kid, it was like, I bet the kid the kid whose game it was is going to be really disappointed that it was that when he hears you broken. And he was like, he already is. And I
Yeah,
was
it's
like,
something
okay,
like,
you kind of ate with that.
it's this weird line. And then it kind of becomes boy, we had this whole loop de loop of chain of consequences and stuff, which we all should have done done what we should have in the first place and
Wit's
resisted
hologram is
temptation.
doing hella sin, and
Yeah,
now he's standing in the hologram,
yeah.
making the hologram feel bad about it.
Wit has invented holograms that can feel shame, so that grace may abound.
He's made a bound.
Uh, God, yeah. So it comes to the end, and then Jimmy is pulls out of the simulation, and
I
is
literally thought they were then going to restart the simulation. He was going to do it the right way. I thought that was like how
like
it
the
was going to
point.
be.
But no, he just pops out and goes, "Well, I guess I don't need to do that." And then he's like, "Well, I got to go home." And then he's like, "Hey, Wit, will you drive me home so I don't have to walk,
So
so I
weird.
don't have to walk past the video game store and be tempted again?" It's like you just saw the you just saw It's a Wonderful Lifestyle, the consequences of what you could do.
John
Did
Avery
how,
Minority Report Whitaker's doing fucking mind crime.
but yeah, it's like, okay, we just saw the bad consequences and this chain of lies that were the result of your lie, and you're like, I still, if I see the game, I'm still gonna do it, kind of a
I
thing.
can't be good for 5 minutes.
Anyway, so that is Into Temptation. Let's get into it.
So like, yeah, so the main thing that was like, there was a line early on where Jimmy kind of points out that he was like, "It's the chamber of consequence," and it was something to the effect of, there's usually one guy, of course he doesn't say an angel and a demon or an angel and a devil. He's like, there's one guy on one shoulder and one guy on the other, uh being as my conscience. Whitaker calls himself his conscience at one point.
Right.
And Wit says, "You don't need a bad guy. You're doing just fine by yourself." So he like,
Yeah. So Whitaker is the angel and Jimmy is his own demon. Like, wow, that's
Jimmy's
thanks, old man.
demonic enough on his own. He doesn't need and
Yeah. That.
not that it's doing anything anyway, because like the whole way that this room seems like it would make sense would be if it was something that, and again, makes sense, but I think assuming there is a value in the lesson being taught, which I think it is, like, your actions have consequences. It's things kids don't think about a lot of the time. It's like why this is like a moral little lesson worth teaching is that they should then get to see their consequences. But he doesn't, because Jimmy disappears after he does the thing. He buys the video game, he tells Wit to fuck off in his ear, and then he's like, he goes and plays video games for an hour, and then he leaves, and guess he feels a little guilty at the end. He proceeds to not learn his lesson enough to be able to even walk past the store, and it's just a very odd way of of teaching this lesson.
Like, why couldn't this have it is an unnecessary framing device, honestly. It's like, why couldn't we this just be, I mean, other than the fact that Wit is in his ear, it's like he's literally like thinking through the possible consequences of his first action. Well, mom said I shouldn't buy this and I should listen to mom.
Yeah, he's really.
But
I thought it was going to be just like the two of them, like maybe then observing the chain of events that was
yeah, it turned
going to
Jimmy
happen.
into a ghost watching. Oh no, Lawrence has to lie for me. Like, I actually, about halfway through the episode, thought was like, I mean, in a little bit it is, but ultimately everybody in the thing made their own choice to not do the right thing. And it's
Yeah,
like, are they gonna come back around? And is Wit gonna be like, "Hey, Jimmy, everybody else basically in here sinned because of you"? And
it
I was
sure
gonna,
felt like it was going that way.
I was pleasantly surprised that it was everybody feels bad and everybody made a mistake, kind of a thing. But yeah, just I mean, and of course it does. We should have figured out when this episode was originally produced, because it's like it was such a, nobody who's ever who's touched this episode had any idea about video games, because of
Sure.
course the Mach 10, and I swear I didn't know until like 5 minutes into the episode that the Mach 10 game was a Bible video game.
Oh, they fully did mention it. They just were
Okay, they
calling it
did.
the
Okay,
Mach 10.
yeah,
No,
it was like the
they
Mach 10, and I'm like, cool, like, okay, I get it. plot contrivance.
Mach 10, sure.
You have a cool sounding word because they compare it to like Zapzoids or something like that. But then as when it came out that it's a Bible video game, I'm like, what is
What
Zapzoids? Like, what are we blasting
what is
Bible?
that Zoid? What in the Bible is moving Mach 10?
Yeah, yeah. I was like, why are they
Faster
jazzing
than
up?
God's love, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah,
Faster
yeah.
than the act of creation.
The it's the armor of righteousness, but it's like parts of a spaceship. Like how is
Mm.
Zapzoids? Like how are these games comparable if they're not both? If one's a Bible game, then they both must be Bible games because that's like the justification, I guess, for the children even the parents even considering it for the children. But
I can't wait
anyway,
to do
so
some Bible video games for Patreon or Twitch or
there are
something.
Adventures in Odyssey video games. They're like I mean
Hell
I
yes.
think they're like adventure like puzzly not puzzly but like the I don't know the Carmen San Diego. You go to locations and you click on stuff. But
Yeah, click
yes,
around,
yes,
point and click.
point and click adventures game. But
So what? Another weird aspect of this episode that was strange to me was, and the word I came up was that this is like a parental power fantasy in a way, which is almost weirdly. Maybe it's not ahead of its time. I guess when I was watching stuff like this as a kid, I wasn't old enough to understand that sometimes things have um that sometimes like children's media like Pixar movies are the big example where they have lots of jokes for adults in it because you're going to be sitting there, you're watching it with the kid, and if it's just the adventure of Bing Bong and Zigzag booping around, you're like, this is really boring. And they make a Seinfeld reference and you're like, ha, reference, because that's what most of humor is in the 21st century. But this is like it's weird seeing what feels like a message very much sent to the parents about like how your kids are going to be experiencing it, because again, like you said, outside of the this might as well just be an experience Jimmy had. Like it doesn't need to be inside this machine, except that I don't know, I guess there's some sort of reset button that he gets to push at the end, so he
yeah,
doesn't
it's
experience
like
real consequences for his action.
yeah, it's like I mean, if it's a message for children, I mean, maybe it's the fact that it's a grown up, like who's saying, Jimmy, you shouldn't do that, versus just another kid. Like I don't know, maybe they thought the kids wouldn't listen to a peer in the same way,
But
you know.
then they also don't listen to the
But yeah,
adults, which is the weird thing.
no. But my point was not that in the story whether or not Jimmy is would Jimmy listen to a peer or not. It's like the children watching the show might not absorb like the like the sort of analysis of what's happening unless it's spoken by an authority figure. Maybe I'm
No, that I guess that does make sense. Like a little kid who's like, Jamie, you better not do that, is just like the stock tattletale like goody two shoes character kind of a deal. But like for me, what is weird about the parental power fantasy is the idea that your kids are making bad choices with you know like you instill lessons on your kids. You want them, you want to prepare them for how to act out in the world, and like the idea that your voice is right there in their ears while they're making bad decisions, being like, don't do this bad thing, don't steal this thing, don't say this bad word, don't you know like the idea that that would be a voice in your head isn't how that is, right? Like you do things because you're an impulsive little kid, and like
right. Yeah, yeah. It's
it
not
makes it worse because of that. Like if he just saw, and even if Wit was sitting there going, hey, he's like, wow, I bought the game and nothing bad happened, and he's like, hold on, let's see how this works out. He could then understand the consequences of his actions, the whole point of the damn episode.
but yeah, like I said, Jimmy disappears to go
And well, so each episode of Adventures in Odyssey, I think, has a Bible verse reference with it. You have that pulled up?
yes, let me
Just read
so
the first part. We don't need the long
yeah, no
extended one.
temptation has overtaken you except what is common to mankind. and God is faithful. He will not let you be tempted beyond what you can bear.
So, like, the whole point of this should almost have been like, I think it would have worked much better if they'd broken it into two. Like, there's like a quick snapshot of what happens if he doesn't buy the game and which he does. But so they show him again, like we said, they show him the consequences of his actions. He got like they're telling him the whole time, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. He does it anyway, and then at the end, he's like, "Can you please drive me home so I don't do a temptation?"
Honestly, the stuff with Donna in the middle is like the most confusing. A, because now we're multiple layers deep of you got holograms lying to holograms, like
Whitaker's
sort of
telling the holograms to stop lying to each other,
yeah.
and they,
Whitaker's
oh
telling the
man,
holograms. But then it's like the whole thing where Donna is like trying to hide the game from Jimmy, and she like is like, I'm gonna put it in here, and then once he's gone, I'm gonna take it out. But her ride comes up to work. I'm like, what time is it? All these kids have jobs. It's sometime during the day, during like business hours. Who's taking her to the job? What is Donna's job? Jimmy's is a paper route. That's at least established.
it's 3:55 in the afternoon, I guess. A
Oh, and I just
small.
remembered a consequence that was like supposed that I was like, oh, here we go. Here's the big consequence. Is Jimmy's playing video games and then Wit's in his ear, like freaking Siri, being like, "Hey, don't you have a job to get to?" And he's like, "Oh crap, I've been playing video games for too long." And I was like, "Oh,"
I'm back on the video game pipe, Wit.
and I was like, "Oh, here we are. It's going to be like this, you know." So he didn't do it. I thinking we're following Jimmy through this train of consequences. I'm like, so Jimmy plays video game, but does something he's not supposed to do, and then spends time playing video games when he's supposed to be, doing something else. And then he's gonna like lose his job or something, and then he's gonna lie to his parents about it, and then they're gonna be like, "Hey, you need." Like I don't know. Like I had this whole, I see where we're going here, but then of course Jimmy
He
goes, "All
gets
right."
disciplined and he's not allowed to, but like they don't give him the game or something, or
Yeah, and he's like, "Wow,
Jimmy
I
can't
should have
cover
listened."
his part of the mortgage because he loses his.
I know. That is something that I literally was thinking. Like, oh, we're gonna get to a point where it's like, oh, for like, there's like a class trip, and he's supposed to like pay for his ski rent. I don't know, ski rental,
That could have been a lesson about financial responsibility too, being like, hey, sometimes there's reasons we don't
or
like buy the
even,
things we want.
just that, like, even just unintended consequences, or one bad thing can lead to another. Like as a simple lesson, like that could work, but. Now we're moralizing at holograms.
I'm excited to see more, like again, to get more into how the chamber, because apparently the room of consequence comes up again. Guess what? Somebody goes to hell.
What?
Yeah. Shayna was like, do you remember the episode where Eugene goes to hell? I'm like, excuse me?
Eugene goes to hell? Oh,
Well, he
that
like
makes
goes in the
sense.
room of consequence and he like, I think he's having a crisis of faith, and then it's like, I'm excited to see how heavy-handed, because that could be it. I mean, again, I'm just like, I have such an interest in teaching kids, kids. I work with kids. I'm a school bus driver. Like kids are monsters, and they only think about themselves, and it is so so much of children's media is to teach them these lessons, because none of us have the time to do it because we're, I mean, all being ground under capitalism's boot. But like,
Right, right, right.
it's there's and there's even like an outreach opportunity. Like again, I'm not trying to like give the Christians ideas of how to reach out better, but if you made your stuff less heavy-handed and less like just pounding you into the ground with guilt and moralizing, this could be like cool media that like gets your message out there in a more interesting way.
Yeah, if this was good, like good lessons for children, and somebody who wasn't interested in some sort of faith-based approach to life was like, oh, interesting. It's not all just you're going to hell, as we talk about a show where Eugene goes to hell.
Unless you're
It's like,
Eugene.
yeah, just Eugene. Yeah, that would be, that could be a way to make the world a better place.
Make a kid think a little about something, but no, they're like, you are bad. like even with me standing here telling you all these things, you're just, it's very puritanical.
I found it very weird at the end where like mom is the only it was very confusing to me where mom is the only one who is framed as not having done anything wrong.
Or
And
like not, I guess not having lied,
I
because
mean
like
I mean in that way
they
she
do a kind
didn't.
of,
Yeah.
yeah, they do a kind of a little side jab where she's like, "Oh, I guess I yelled at that person for." Do they give her a hard time for getting the thing for free, or because she was rude to the employee?
I don't remember. I don't. I think. I think it's mostly. Like even then, it's not in the same way. It's everybody is like because it's like
Racked
all of
with
the
guilt.
everyone's racked with guilt and they're basically I mean they're kind of confessing to the group, but really it starts with them confessing to the mom, sort of a way, and it's just really like surprising, like in a way it feels very like sitcom y where
Hmm.
it's like idiot husband misbehaving children and the long suffering mom kind of a thing, which feels
Yeah, I said it felt weirdly progressive. Like usually it's the this. I mean, the focus on the family was so like intent on the husband is the leader. He must like show dominance over him. I mean, I don't think they use those exact words, but you are in charge of your family and your wife, and like literally, I hated the dad's voice. Sorry, voice actor, but. He was just like, he's like, oh my God, I'm just over here. Hot
yeah,
dog.
yeah, no, yeah, hot dog, and yeah, it's also like in the way where again a very specific gripe about the way she's steamrolling the husband and like he is so flustered, like I don't know, I'm like trying to decide if it's charming or like a little like, well, what would you expect if frickin' telling him, hey, you're a good dad, and giving him one smooch on the cheek is enough to make him completely abandon his moral compass? What kind of life are you living? Like,
How good are them smooches, Jimmy's mom? So, all in all, this was kind of not the greatest episode. The parental power fantasy very much led to very much a weakening of its message, and
right?
the message wasn't great in the first place. Don't buy video games.
Yeah.
First Corinthians 10:13. Don't buy
Don't
video
don't
games,
buy
kids.
video games. It might be a different translation. We're gonna keep going. I'm excited to get into like comparing these sort of moral lessons versus like actual Bible stories. And oh my God, I was reading through some of the episode titles. I was salivating at some of the names. I'm like, I want to get to that one. So
A lot of
there's
Jimmy's mom content, or what? What do you mean?
no, I was just like, oh, we're gonna tear that one up. One called Columbus: The Grand Voyage,
Ooh,
um, and
ooh,
one was
the
called.
sensitivity with which I'm sure they handled that subject matter.
I'm excited to get. I want to get into the character of Eugene. We should find an episode with Eugene for next time.
Let's do it.
But in the meantime, you can follow us wherever gonna create all the socials except for Twitter. Um, also, I'm on TikTok as Eric.Eberly.
And I'm on TikTok as Titan of Joy.
And see you next time. Tomatoes. Oh, God.